I got sick of seeing them. They're everywhere. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I'm sure, like myself, when you've ever visited an art gallery or a museum or some place like that, you've always stumbled across their gift shop and you've usually bought some overpriced tat. And art galleries are just the epitome of that, in my opinion. So today I thought I would buy a bunch of different art supplies, stationery kind of stuff from different shops, from different art galleries, and test them out, see what they're like, see if they're worth the phenomenal prices that they set. Okay, so I thought I would group these art materials by the art galleries that I bought them from. So I think we'll start off with the Baltic. Now if you don't know what the Baltic is, it's a contemporary art gallery based in, I'm not sure whether it's Gateshead or Newcastle, in the northeast. It's kind of on the quayside, kind of on the verge of both of them. I'm pretty sure it's in Gateshead. And when I was doing my master's degree in fine art, I actually did about 2 or 3 presentations up in the art gallery, in kind of like the big rooms and stuff, and it was very intimidating. I also had a couple of exhibitions at their off-branch art gallery, which was affiliated with Northumbria University, which was called Baltic 39. You can actually see a tour of my artwork up in this corner. It's a very old video, so if it's terrible, that's why. But just because I have a past with the Baltic doesn't mean I'm affiliated with them in any way, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to slag any of these art materials off, because if they're shite, I will happily say that they're shite. Right, let's open you up, see what I bought. Okay, so the first thing I bought was this rainbow multicoloured pencil for £1.75. But this is what it looks like in person, and you can see the 4 colours on the tip there. I don't know whether you heard the dog just screaming there. 1 second. I don't know whether you heard the dog screaming away. That was Kane. And he's not hurt or anything like that. He was just going for a walk and he screams. He screams like a banshee. That's what it's like having 7 dogs. There's never any peace. Okay, so let's try this out. It does feel like a nice pencil. It's nice and thick. It feels nice in my hand. I don't know what else I can really say about it. It's a pencil. Okay, so we've got the red there. See if I can just use the blue. And then try the green. And the yellow. It's quite a strange one, this, because it's hard to obviously pick just one colour, because obviously the other colour is right next to it and it starts to appear. But it's a nice pencil, the quality's fine, it's just a bit unusual. And I'm just going to give each product either a thumbs down or a thumbs up as to whether I like it or not. And I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. I thought it was alright. It was a magic, different coloured pencil. There's not much more to say about it. Okay, the next art supply that I bought from the Baltic is this pack of 5 scented erasers for £4.95. And they've arrived and they look super cute. They're in like little milk cartons. The one thing I find strange is obviously these erasers are scented. So you've got grape, chocolate, mixed fruit juice, strawberry, and then milk. Who wants their eraser, or quite frankly anything, to smell like milk? Well, obviously I know that they're in milk cartons, so it kind of makes sense, but it's also just weird. I would have gone for like milkshake,
brings all the boys to the yard,
where you could have made it a bit more, just less milk. But let's open these up. I have to say these are so adorable. Like, look at that packaging. How cute is that? But this isn't actually the eraser itself. The eraser's obviously inside of here. Okay, so it just comes out as a regular square. It doesn't really smell like strawberry. See if it rubs out. Okay, it doesn't particularly rub out coloured pencil very well. Let's just try a different one. Yeah, it works very well on normal pencil. I just want to smell the milk one. They all just kind of smell the same. Let's try grape. Oh, grape smells like grape. Yeah, very artificial grape. Let's see what mixed fruit juice is like. Doesn't smell of anything. And chocolate. Chocolate kind of, it's got like a hint of chocolate, a very artificial chocolate again. Okay, so the scents weren't particularly great. I loved the packaging. The packaging was amazing. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. They were fine. They worked well. They were erasers and they were extremely cute. So Well done. So the next art material that I bought was this pack of jumbo grip crayons for $7.95. Open them up, see what they're like. Also, you get a lot of crayons in here. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get a pack of 10, which isn't too bad. They're washable and non-toxic wax. They were made in China. Everything's made in China these days. They're just a really weird shape for crayons, aren't they? I suppose these might be designed for, obviously, children, but also people who struggle to hold things. So whether you've got poorly hands or arthritis or anything, this might be something that helps. You know, you might find a crayon a bit too, like, small and tight and thin. Okay, let's see how they draw. It's a strange one because you can get nice kind of thick shading and you can also get thin lines from it, even though it's a very strange shape. They're very easy to handle. I actually find these easier for me too. Oh, these aren't bad at all. I definitely think I prefer these over regular crayons. Like, that looks alright, doesn't it? It looks like just some regular crayon. Ah, that's not bad. How much did I pay? $7.95. You get a lot of crayon in one of these crayons too. I'm surprisingly happy with this one. I was expecting it to be pretty crap. I don't know why. But no, I'm here for it. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Okay, and the final thing that I bought, which definitely isn't an art supply, is this Paint by Sticker Masterpieces book for $9.99. And it looks like it's a paint by numbers, or almost similar to a diamond painting thing, where you're just using stickers to recreate these old school artworks. And the book looks very nice. It's got the lady with the pearl earring on the front. I think that's the title of the artwork. Let's have a look inside. Okay, so you have a Monet, another piece of artwork. I don't know what that is. That looks like a Francis Bacon. Is that a Francis Bacon? It tells you at the front. No, it's Paul Cézanne. I've heard of him. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and someone will tell us that I'm pronouncing it wrong. That's fine. These look really intricate and very complicated. Like, look how tiny the stickers are in the center of that. Oh, that's the Birth of Venus. I know that one. Okay, this is really interesting. Oh, the Mona Lisa. Of course, you're gonna have the Mona Lisa. Oh, and then you've got your stickers in here, and it tells you which one it's for. So that one's for that one. Do I have time to do one? I'll try the Venus one. I'll just do a little bit. I don't have time to do the entire thing. So you would take a sticker out. So I want D17. They're all number coded. So you would take it out, then go back to your painting, and that's D17, so you would just place it onto there. Oh, that's cool. I really like this, actually. I'm not going to do the entire thing, because I know for a fact this is going to take a lifetime to complete. But I think one day, if I'm exceptionally bored, I would actually do one of them. I think it'd be quite therapeutic. I really enjoyed diamond painting when I did that, and I think this would be no different, really. In fact, I think this would be a lot easier. Yeah, I'm kind of into this. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think it's a very creative idea. It's just a bit different, isn't it? I like it. And you can also get these in different themes, so you can get animals and stuff like that. I think some are more catered towards kids and stuff. But no, I'm here for this. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. It's not bad. I'm glad I discovered it. So that does it for the Baltic one. Pretty good all round. They all got thumbs up. Wonder if it's going to go downhill from here. We'll soon find out. Okay, so the next art gallery gift shop that I bought lots of art supplies from was the Manchester Art Gallery. And I feel like I have been to the Manchester Art Gallery. I've been to Manchester several times, and it's one of my favourite places. I love Manchester. And I've been to art galleries there, but I can't remember which ones I've been to. I'm pretty sure I've been to this one though. But anyway, let's see what I've bought. So I think we'll start off with this click and go collapsible water pot for £4, and it's arrived and it looks a little bit like this. Okay, so you just pop this out like that, and it's a lovely cup. Now this is a strange one because it might seem quite pointless if you're a studio painter and you don't really go out and about. You would just use a regular cup. You wouldn't need one of these. However, for someone on the go, possibly a watercolour painter who likes to paint nature and takes the canvases and the supplies out, I think this would be quite handy because obviously it saves space, it collapses, and it just turns into a little water pot for your brushes. I think it's alright, it's cute, it's not bad. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. There's not a lot else to say about it, it's a cup, but it's nice, I like it. Okay, I'll test these two things out at the same time. So I bought a watercolour disc set of 4 for £6.50, and I also bought an easy grip paintbrush for £1.50. And I will say straight away, these watercolour paint disc things, you can pretty much buy them in every single art store that I was looking at online. They are absolutely everywhere. So this is definitely not an exclusive item to the Manchester Art Gallery. I got sick of seeing them. They're everywhere. How much did I spend on this? £6.50. You get a lot of watercolour in here. And I'm going to be trying these with my paintbrush, and I'm going to fill my little cup up with some water, so we're getting a full demonstration here. The paintbrush itself seems nice. I assume this little grip thing at the bottom would help people who struggle with grip. I think that's what it's for. The only thing I don't like about this is when they packaged it, they haven't put a protector on or anything, so it's been wedged against the inside of the box and it's kind of bent. Like, I don't know whether you can see that, but it's definitely bent. I wouldn't lie to you. So that's a little bit of a shame, but for £1.50, it's pretty cheap, isn't it? Okay, the cup doesn't leak, so that's a plus. Right, let's try some of these paints out. So you've got kind of reds, oranges and browns, yellows, oranges and whites, blue, grey and black, and then some more brown and green. Right, let's have a little bit of a painting day. I have a feeling this paint isn't going to be very nice, but we'll see. Because paint being that cheap, it can't be that good, can it? Okay, this paint isn't the best paint I've ever tried. It'll look a lot better on camera, but in person, it doesn't look as nice. For £6.50 though, like, you can't really complain, can you? And to be fair, again, these little circle disc things that are kind of stackable, it would be good for transporting. The paintbrush was okay. I'm gonna give the paints a thumbs up, and I'm gonna give the paintbrush a thumbs up. Because for the price I paid, it would be really hard for me to give it a thumbs down. It would literally have to just not show up at all, and the paintbrush would have to arrive with no bristles. Not the best. For the money, it was fine. Okay, so the next product is a paint tube pen for £2, and it's basically a regular pen that looks like a tube of paint. I've got it here. Oh, no I don't. I've got it here, and yeah, it definitely looks like a tube of paint. You would think that's paint. Ah, it's coloured red. It's a red ballpoint pen. Okay, well, let's try you out. Yeah, it's a pen. Can't really say anything else about it. It was fine, it works, it's quirky, it's a little bit unusual, and also these were littered around every single gift shop in these art galleries that I was looking at. I found these everywhere, just like the paints. I'll give it a thumbs up, it was fine. Okay, and the next thing that I bought from the Manchester Art Gallery gift shop was this Dots Line washi tape for £3, which I find very expensive. And it's arrived, it looks like this, it looks like a regular roll of tape. It's 7mm by 7 meters. Actually, you get quite a lot, 7 meters, I wasn't expecting that. They also did like a load of different designs too. Stick a bit down on this paper, see what you like. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, the design's really cute. I can't tell what they are. It almost looks like little sweets or like little stones or something. I think it would be nice for scrapbooking, and maybe you're gonna do a junk journal. It would be good for your junk journal. I still think £3 steep, but it doesn't, I'm not like overly offended either. Do I give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'm feeling very nice today. Slightly expensive, but the design's really nice and you get a lot of it. So that's why I'm giving it a thumbs up. If you feel differently, let me know down in the comments. Okay, and the final thing that I bought from Manchester Art Gallery was this watercolouring set for £26. Unfortunately, I got an email telling me that it was out of stock and they refunded us the money. However, I still managed to get my hands on it. And you might be thinking, how, Ant? How did you get your hands on it? Because they sell them on Amazon. In Manchester Art Gallery, this was £26. I got it on Amazon for £21 and a penny. And that's what kind of annoys me a little bit about these art gallery shops. Because if you're wanting lots of people to kind of invest in you and be excited about the product you sell and stuff, you should have more exclusive items that are specifically designed for your gallery. And they do have certain things, but a lot of other things, like pretty much everything that I've gone through now, I'm sure you could find on Amazon or other online retailers. They're not exclusive to the actual galleries. And I just find that a bit annoying, really. But I am going to try this out. I think they're like watercolour pens. So you get dual brush pens, a water brush with fine tip, a fine liner, a pencil, an eraser, blending palette, and a watercolouring guide. So you get a lot in this little kit. A water brush. So you obviously fill that with water. Duh. Oh, they're nice. Oh, these are some nice pens. I am going to use the water brush. I just want to test these out first. These are nice on their own. Obviously, you would expect these pens to be really good because they were very expensive. They feel quite nice in your hands as well. They're very long. And I think a long thing in... Yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence. And then you've got a water-based pigment ink marker. Oh, that marker's really nice too. Okay, and then you've got a dust-free eraser. So this eraser basically catches the like shavings that you get from when you're rubbing things out. You know, when you get the little bits all over. This kind of contains it. It definitely feels different to a normal rubber. It's a lot more kind of squidgy. Okay, this is just a regular pencil. I'm not entirely sure why they've included a pencil in this kit. Let's try rubbing it out. Ah, it's true. It didn't create any like little rubbery bits. I suppose they turn into just a big chunk on the end of the rubber. Right, I'll fill this water pen up and I'll see if I can blend this out. I don't know whether I've left that to dry too long, but we'll see. Okay, I think I've left this ink to dry too long. Okay, well I'm not obviously great with stuff like this, but I'm assuming people who use like watercolor pens and these water brushes and stuff will obviously understand what I'm doing wrong and know a little bit more about it, but it hasn't blended out as much as I wanted it to. But it still looks quite nice. I still like it. So I'm going to give this watercolor set a thumbs up because even though I think it's quite pricey, I think the quality of it's really good. However, I'm going to give Manchester Art Gallery a thumbs down for that one because you were out of stock and I managed to find it on Amazon for about £4 or £5 cheaper. It's just not on. Okay, moving on to the final art gallery gift shop, and I decided to go north of the border to Scotland. Obviously not physically, and bought some art supplies from the National Galleries of Scotland. And I don't think I've actually ever been to the National Galleries. I did exhibit a sculpture up in Scotland many years ago. It was in Glasgow and it was at the RGI. It was like this open call for an exhibition and I got one of my sculptures in, so that was fun. But I haven't actually been to Scotland that much. I've been to Edinburgh and Glasgow, and that's it really. It's a place I'd actually like to visit more often. And I don't actually live that far away either. To be fair, there's loads of places in the UK I just haven't been. It's because I don't like going anywhere. Okay, let's see what's inside. It's a big box, this one. I like it. I feel like everything that comes out of my mouth is an innuendo, and I don't mean it to be that way, unless I just have an incredibly dirty mind. Okay, so the first thing that I bought was a National Galleries of Scotland A4 Eco Sketchpad. And this is what it looks like. It's obviously got their little logo at the bottom, and it does feel like an eco one. It feels like it's made out of recycled paper. Ah, it's a nice little sketchbook. The paper's quite thick. I also really like a sketchbook that's very plain. There's not much more I can say about this. It's a sketchpad. £4.50. I think it's a little bit on the expensive side, I'm not gonna lie. I reckon I could probably get this sketchbook without the branding on, obviously, because they've just had that printed on top. I could probably get that for £1. So I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down just because of the price, but the book itself I really like. Okay, so since I've got my sketchbook, I'll do a little painting. So I'll review these two items at the same time. I bought a pack of 7 oil brushes for £6.99, and I bought a pack of 10 oil paint tubes for £12.49. So I've got them both here. They're by Reeves. I don't know that company, but I'm assuming you could find this anywhere. 7 brushes for £6.99 and 10 oil paint tubes for £12.49. I don't think that's bad at all. I'm also absolutely awful at oil painting, so it's just going to be a little demonstration. So in this pack you get a titanium white, lemon yellow, brilliant red, crimson, phthalo blue, ultramarine, sap green, yellow ochre, burnt umber, and ivory black. And yellow ochre is one of my favourite colours. It's like a nice mustardy colour. I love it. Okay, so you get a nice range of different sized brushes. They're very stiff, so I'm assuming oil paint brushes or brushes designed specifically for oil paint have a very different texture to them than a normal paintbrush. I'm not massively clued up on oil paint because, like I said, I'm not very good at it. I might just use every single colour and do like a bit of a gradient swatchy kind of design. Okay, they seem like some really nice oil paint actually. The brushes are quite nice too. This is why I don't like oil paint though, because all my paintings, they end up looking like that. It just all goes brown and muddy, and for some reason with oil paint, I can never make it look vibrant and light and colourful. It just always turns to brown. But there's just something very traditional about oil paint. I like the idea of oil paint, and I like the feeling of oil paint. I just wish I was better at it. But they're nice. They're some nice brushes. Really enjoyed the paint. I'll give them both thumbs up. Pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so the next thing that I bought was this sonography light sensitive photography card. 5 sheets for £9.99. And I've got it here, and it's basically a solar powered photography thing, which I'd never heard of, and I'm very intrigued what it's going to be like. It's not sunny at the moment though, so I don't know how this is going to work. So apparently I place whatever I want onto a sheet of this, I put it in the sun, then I rinse it off with water, and then I should have a print within this kind of piece of paper, which sounds really interesting actually. actually. It's like a little science experiment. They're very small. I was expecting them to be a little bit bigger. How much did I spend on this? Like £10 on 5 sheets this big. Okay, so because it's not sunny outside, and obviously you need UV light for this, I've got a little UV torch instead, and I think I'm just going to place my finger like that and just expose it. And I think I need to keep it like this for 5 minutes. So my hand is going to cramp like mad. Okay, it hasn't been 5 minutes, but I can't do it anymore. My hand's hurting so much. I've got a little bit of an imprint there though. I'm gonna rinse this off with water and I'll come back and see if it's done anything. Okay, that obviously didn't work because of my own fault for trying to be a smart ass. So I'm doing a different one. I'm gonna use some toenail clippers because that's the only thing I could find lying around, and see if this works a bit better. Okay, so I've got that one back, and that one's kind of worked a little bit, but I think this sonography stuff is more designed obviously for when it's sunny, but you can kind of just say make the outline of the toenail clippers way better than obviously my finger. You can still see it a little bit, but just doesn't look like anything. But these sonography cards, £10, tiny little sheets. I'm gonna have to give it a thumbs down. Not interested. I didn't like it at all. And the final thing that I bought from the National Galleries of Scotland wasn't in fact an art supply. It was this Happy Artist rubber duck for $5.99, and I just couldn't resist it. It was so cute, and they had a couple of other ones on there that were obviously more Scottish themed, but I just had to have it. I saw it, I wanted it, I bought it. And this is it here. How adorable is that? How cute is he? I am obsessed. Definitely getting a thumbs up. That's $5.99 well spent. Well, that just about does it for today's video of buying art supplies, stationery, and other miscellaneous items from art gallery gift shops. I think my favourite things definitely have to be the watercolour paint set thing. I also absolutely love these weird jumbo crayons, and of course my rubber duck. Let me know what your favourites and least favourites are in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Does it squeak? It doesn't squeak, but that's fine. I still love it.